Hello everyone, welcome back to our weekly market analysis video with me, Frankie, your market analyst at Markets4U. In today's video, we'll be looking at the key economic events and data releases from July 28th to August 1st, 2025. I've already set up my screen to display the economic calendar from the traders room at Markets4U. I've set the dates from July 28th to August 1st, covering this week's important events in GMT. Please remember to adjust to your respective time zones. Let's dive into this week's events. Monday starts with US Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index data. Tuesday brings US CB consumer confidence and JOLTS job openings figures. Wednesday features a packed day with Australian inflation data, Eurozone GDP figures, US ADP employment change, US GDP growth rate, the Bank of Canada interest rate decision, and the highly anticipated Federal Reserve interest rate decision followed by the Fed press conference. We'll also see Japanese retail sales and industrial production data. Thursday includes Australian retail sales and building permits, the Bank of Japan interest rate decision, Japanese consumer confidence, Swiss retail sales, Eurozone unemployment rate, and the crucial US core PCE price index data. We'll also see Canadian GDP figures and various other US data releases. Friday concludes with Australian PPI data, Eurozone inflation figures, and the most important release of the week, US Non-Farm Payrolls, along with average hourly earnings and unemployment rate data. We'll also see the ISM Manufacturing PMI. This week's key market-moving events will be the Federal Reserve interest rate decision on Wednesday and the US Non-Farm Payrolls on Friday. The Bank of Japan decision on Thursday will also be crucial for yen pairs. Now, let's go to the technical analysis. This week, we'll focus on the US dollar against the Japanese yen and the US dollar against the Canadian dollar, as both instruments face significant central bank decisions and economic data releases. Let's start with the US dollar against the Japanese yen. Looking at the daily chart, the dollar-yen pair is currently trading around 147.64. The price has now moved above the 20-day moving average, but is still in a consolidation movement. With the Bank of Japan interest rate decision ahead on Thursday, the pair typically shows exceptional volatility during such periods, making this the most significant event for this pair this week. Looking at important levels, the US dollar against the Japanese yen has support at 146.13 and 144.17, while resistance can be found at 149.09 and 151.04. The stochastic oscillator is now trying to cross higher around the oversold area, suggesting potential for upward momentum in the short term. Additional volatility could come from Thursday's Japanese consumer confidence data and Japanese unemployment rate figures. Now, let's turn to the US dollar against the Canadian dollar. On the daily chart, the pair is currently trading around 1.3701, moving at the 20-day moving average and consolidating. The pair faces an important Bank of Canada interest rate decision on Wednesday. Looking at key levels, the US dollar against the Canadian dollar has support at 1.3569 and 1.3466, while resistance stands at 1.3806 and 1.3917. The stochastic oscillator is now trying to cross higher around the oversold area, suggesting potential for a bounce from current levels. Thursday's Canadian GDP data could provide additional movement. The 1.3569 support level will be particularly important to watch during these releases. Both instruments could see considerable volatility this week. Traders should be particularly cautious during Wednesday's Fed decision and respective central banks' decision, as these events can cause sudden spikes in volatility and potential gap risks. Remember, always manage your risk carefully and never invest more than you can afford to lose. That's it for this week's analysis. See you in the next video.